Hello everyone, Mrs. Sandy here with today's lesson. All right, so before we were reviewing exponent rules, and so that's kind of like your algebra 1. So we're going to kick it up a notch and we're going to do our algebra 2-ish type of questions. So we're going to be talking about rational exponents. So what does that word rational means? That means it's just a fraction. So basically, hopefully after today, if I give you something like this, 9 to the 1/2 power, you will be closer to figuring out what that answer is. Okay, so your essential question and your learning goal are at the bottom. So we're basically just getting our feet wet with this. We're going to rewrite it as a radical to a rational and vice versa, rational to a radical. All right, here we go. So the first thing, and that's why we have this picture. We have this Power Ranger standing on top of the roots of this tree. So I want you to remember this. This is super important. Power over root. Power over root. So just kind of always imagine that picture of that Power Ranger standing over on top of those roots of that tree. All right, so here's what it means. When we have a fractional exponent, whatever is on the top, that is your power. And the over is the diffraction. And the bottom part is going to be your root. So when I say root, I mean the square root, the cube root, the fourth root, yada, 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 can keep going on forever and ever. Just so you know, when it's a square root, there's always a little 2 there. We just don't write it. Okay, moving on. And so we also need to make sure we know what our base is. So in this problem, the base is our x. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite these using radicals. And there's kind of 2 different ways you can do it. You can put the power inside of the radical with the x, or you can put the power outside of the radical using parentheses. Either way is the exact same answer. And so the power and then our root is going to be the number that is on the denominator, so our little root. Or vice versa, you can go ahead and do the root, all of that to the power, meaning the same thing. All right, so this will make so much more sense when we actually do an example with numbers. So here we go. All right, so it's obvious. We know that 17 is our base. How do we know? Because it's the biggest font. Also because this is raised to the 1/3 power. All right, so now we're going to label our power over root. Power over root. Always remember that, power over root. So our top part is called our power. The bottom number, that is your root. Power over root. Power over root. All right, so I'm going to show you both ways of writing it. Either way is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my base. That's a 17. And then we're going to do our radical. And then how you're going to write it is you're going to put the power on that base. And then you're going to write your root, that's the denominator, like a little tiny 3 there. So this is the cube root of 17 to the first power. Or you can write it this way. Either way is correct. You can write 17, still have that little root there, but all of that to the first power. Either way, same answer. All right, let's try this one. Remember, power over root, power over root. Okay, so I'm getting lazy. I just want to write a P. Everybody knows that means power. Root is that 3 on the bottom again. And so power over root, power over root. So we're going to write our base to the power. Sorry, let's write our radical as well. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is called a radical, that symbol. All right, and so then the root is going to be still a cube root. So it's a little tiny 3 in that top left corner. And then our power is going to be 2. Or you can write it this way. Write your cubed root of 33. All of that to the second power. Power over root, power over root. All right. So you try this one, pause the video, try this yourself, unpause it, and then see if you're right. All right, hopefully you paused it and tried it. Here we go. If you got this, you are correct. Give yourself a pat on the back. Or if you wrote this, you got it right. So either one of these is the correct answer. All right, so what we're going to do now is instead of going from a fractional power or exponent or rational power, we're going to have it in radical form, and we're going to use it using exponents. So we're going backwards. We have to write it using rational exponents. Okay, here we go. First thing you want to make sure you do is you know what the base is. So this is going to be our base. Then I'm going to ask you, what is the power on this base? Notice how there's nothing there. So if there's never anything there, you know there's actually an imaginary 1. That's a 1, by the way. So your power on this one, they don't write it, but your power is going to be 1. And our root, power over root, your root is going to be that little teeny tiny number. All right, so let's go ahead and write it. Start with your base. Our base is going to be 7 to the power over root. Power over root. So our power, if anything, you're sick of me saying that, power over root. So your power is going to be 1. Oops, that was supposed to be purple. And our root, because it's the cube root, is going to be 3. What is wrong with this thing? All right, so it's going to be 7 to the 1/3 power. That's how you're going to write it. There's no other way. All right, so now example 5. I'm going to go a little faster. Our power. What is our power? Well, that's nice. Our power is right here. What is our root? Well, that's easy. The root is right here. Our bases are 6, so always start with your base to the power over root. Power over root. Our power is 2. Our root is 5. That is it. We are done. Boop, boop, boop. 6 to the 2/5 power. So you got to make sure you know what does it mean if it is a fractional exponent. It's fine. It's just doing square roots and cube roots and 5th roots. And oh, look, hey, we have an 8th root. So try this one. Pause the video. Try it. Hopefully you paused it and you're not cheating. All right, let's see if you did it right. All right, here we go. So the base is 11. Our power should have been 7. Our root is 8. So hopefully you got 11 to the 7th, 8th power. If you got it, give yourself a pat on the back. Yay! All right. Here's what I need you to do now. I was told this is only going to take you 5 minutes. So hopefully go to deltamath.com. Find the assignment that says 414 rational exponents. Be sure when you upload your screenshot that when you're completed, click on that green check. Once you have that green check, you will see this screen that has your name, and then it'll have the title, exponential and radical form, and it will tell me you did it 100% complete. Okay, and then that's what you're going to screenshot and upload to Google Classroom. All right, thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you need help. Don't forget to write this down in your notes.